Hello and welcome to a wonderful and unique version of Amped Up. And today, let me introduce myself first. My name is Sher Salmson, and I have the honor and privilege of interviewing an icon in Second Life, and she has many names, and today it is Slim Warrior. Hello, Slim. How's it
Hey,
feel?
Cher.
How does it feel to be in the hot seat?
Usually I'm the one chatting to other musicians and talking to them about what they do. So it's turned around today.
Yes, the tables are turned today. Normally, Slim is the host of this particular show, and it is always just a wonderful show where a musician is interviewed and also performs. And I assure you that we're going to have the same thing here today. We'll have a wonderful performance by Slim at the end of the show today. Let's go ahead and get started. Slim, I'm just going to tell you, I'm just astounded at all that I found out about you in doing a little research. You are into absolutely everything.
Is that a good thing or not? I'm never quite sure.
I mean, you are into everything. And of course, my first knowledge of you before this interview preparation was that you're the founder of one of the largest forum groups in Second Life as far as musicians are concerned, and that's independent musicians. Would you like to talk a little bit about that group?
Well, when I started in Second Life, there wasn't any particular music scene to speak of at all. And there were a couple of groups, but it wasn't a big thing back then. It was more of personal friendships that you had with anybody. But Astrid Few, who's the founder of the live music enthusiasts,
Yes.
he had that group, but it was specifically for live musicians, and I wanted to have a group which encouraged musicians who, yeah, they do play live, but also those who don't. So musicians who record their music, don't necessarily perform live, but still release albums, can still stream their music into Second Life. And so I started that, and I've never really pushed the group, really. It's just always been there and available for anybody who wanted to promote their shows, really. And I also started the songwriters group, which is very small. I don't. It's been such a long time. There's a few people that join it, but the first music group in Second Life was actually the Second Life musicians. And back in those days, you were invited to be part of the group. It wasn't, anybody can join. It wasn't about, plugging your thing. It was all quite low key, really, which I quite enjoyed because it wasn't sort of pushing, and there wasn't, this constant 24/7 notices, IMs, slurs, capitals, or whatever. I mean, you know how it is, yeah, going on all the time when you log in. So it was a
Yes.
relatively calm affair back then.
Yes, but the whole thing has changed in that Second Life is so huge now, and it's my understanding, according to one study that's been done, that probably 75% of those who are in Second Life aren't aware of the richness and fullness of the SL music community. So your group and groups like yours have very much helped raise awareness as far as to just how active and how much talent there is that one can attend in Second Life. But something else that really caught my eye, and I think it's quite a thing to say about someone, is that you're the first UK musician to perform in Second Life. What was that all about? Tell me about that.
When I joined Second Life in 2005, I came in with 3 or 4 other musicians from a website called Mac Jams. And by the time I got streamed, it didn't take very long. We were all Mac users, and the guys like Astrid and Flaming Mo and Frog and JCat, they were all kind of like PC users. So we had to really struggle to find a good streaming solution for Mac users. And luckily, it was around about that time that we discovered Nicecast. And we started streaming. I had some land, and we ran the virtual garage. where we would all play. We played together as a band, and we also had a radio station from Sonoma who would stream in to Second Life every Tuesday. And the only other female singer in Second Life when I joined was a lady called Singer Tyne. And I think because I come in so early, that's how I got to be, yeah, the second female performer and the first UK musician. And yeah, so it wasn't anything that I planned. It just happened that way. Luck
Well,
and timing, I think.
well, and there's something to be said as far as being the first, and also, I see also another. This is I wanted to hit this first and foremost as well. That you're the director of Music in Virtual Worlds and V Stage,
Yes.
and for 5.5 years. Tell me about that.
Um, well, Music in Virtual Worlds was a slightly later development to Slim Warrior Productions. I think from literally from day one when I joined Second Life, I've just been blown away. I just think Second Life is amazing. It's a fantastic platform for musicians and DJs and singers and anybody who has a love for music. It's simply brilliant, and it's made me more inspired to make sure that, maybe I could arrange events, maybe I could do promotions, I could promote other musicians. And at the time that I started was also the time when we had a lot of companies coming into Second Life, lots of brands. And so, of course, to launch, when they arrived into Second Life and they had their amazing builds, what better way, as you know, than to have a musician come along? Because people will always enjoy music,
Yeah,
which meant that for those companies, I mean, we're talking about big companies, it brought people to their builds. So it was right at that huge growth spurt for Second Life, and so I set up Slim Warrior Productions, and that was really just so that if I got a job from Second Life for a product launch or for a company launch or for something else, I could then help to expand that particular network by bringing musicians that I'd met and heard through Second Life and sometimes from outside, and make it into, a proper event, like an events organizer, event management, which is what I do in real life.
yeah,
Um, and the reason I do it in real life is because I started it in Second Life. So it started as Slim Warrior Productions, which is still running.
mhm,
And I felt, because the work that I do is quite diversified, I've got several different hats that I wear. I needed to separate Slim Warrior Productions and have specifically something that was to do with music in virtual worlds. But also, it's not a company that relies on me running everything. It's an open, free, I guess the best way to call it's a collaboration. If there's something that's bringing a lot of people together, we can do it under the Music in Virtual Worlds name. Um, V Stage again has come much later, and that has got a great emphasis, obviously, on virtual performances, but it's also my real life event management company. And last year I moved to Denmark, and the last couple of months I've been setting up an events company here. But this is to run real life festivals, of which I'm hoping that one of the attractions will be that I'll be able to involve musicians and DJs, and we'll use virtual platforms as part of the real life festivals.
oh,
So
interesting.
sounds complicated, but there is a
Well,
plan.
it's
Somewhere in there, there is a plan.
it's a lot of work. Slim, you said something that I found very interesting. You talked about Second Life being an inspiration to you to the point that you even delved out into the outworld, real life. And I have found that to be very true in many cases with artists in Second Life. They seem to just blossom with the creativity here. Is that what you think?
I think. what it does, it gives you a lot of confidence, and depending on what it is that you want from your music. Um, I was actually using the internet for my music way before I started Second Life. But what Second Life has done for me is enabled me to build a set of skills here that I can use outside, offline. And that
Yeah.
has been very important for me. In terms of performance, I'm not what you call a live musician. I don't go out and do gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love my studio. I'm very happy doing that. And I have been for many years. And then, of course, as you said, lots of musicians who've started before me, they've used a virtual world like Second Life, have gained the confidence and the quality of their performance, so much so that they have done exactly that. They've gone from being simply an online performer and they're out gigging. And that is an inspiration to me. And it has, this year, it got to me and I finally did it. And yeah, hopefully there will be more to come. So it's been a very valuable tool, and it sounds very clinical, but it has been a very valuable tool to, um, what's the word? Practice.
Yes.
Practice,
Yes.
practice, practice. And the more practice you get and the better feedback you get, the more confidence you gain, the more um, the more creative you might be with your performance, and you try to take that out into real life as well. Um,
Yes.
and I think that's what a lot of musicians are, and certainly, obviously, the ones I've talked to as well. And I love that. I
Yes.
absolutely love that.
Yes. Well, I tell you, basically what we're doing here, I'm sitting here talking to Slim Warrior, who is an international award winning recording artist and musician and producer. And she has been featured on, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, from Radio One to national TV appearances, podcasts, and numerous media publications. And again, I could just continue to talk about the accolades, but there's something that I also wanted to mention, and this really touched my heart. I see that you were the director of the
Yeah.
Down Syndrome Research Foundation. Would you talk
Yes.
a little bit about that?
Sure. Before I decided to drop everything and become a musician, actually, I'm still wondering why I did that, but here I am now. For 9 years, I ran a very small medical research foundation um, based in England, and it was a charity set up by a parent that I met after I'd had my son, and he was so passionate about trying to improve the health of what in clinical terms is called trisomy 21.
Mm.
And I have a keen interest in health and healthy issues. And I didn't feel that it was right that it was normal for the medical professionals to say that if somebody had a cold all the time, that it was quite normal if you have Down syndrome to be sick all the time, because being sick is not normal. And so, yeah, over 9 years, both he and I, and he has a wonderful family, and we finally managed to instigate a clinical trial looking at um, supplementing a diet with vitamins, which nowadays people take for granted. We'll if we're sick, we'll go out and get some vitamin C, or there's folic acid in bread that you can buy if you're an expectant mum, and the importance of this. But 16 years ago, there was not that information, and there were a lot of people very against supplementing a diet to improve health. But we did finally, just the two of us, manage to get a trial underway that was done at the Institute of Child Health in London, and I'm very, very proud to have been part of that. That it was. it was the most incredible 9 years, and I still do continue to support the charity, even though I don't work there anymore. Um, and they are still continuing to do amazing things, and they're very small. They're not a national association, and but yeah, it's a subject that's very close to my heart.
And so basically anything that one is passionate about that you can make a difference, and that's what you set out to do and what you did do. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Now, I
Well, I've
want to
always said nothing great is ever achieved without enthusiasm, and you must have that first. If you
that
don't have the enthusiasm,
I saw that quote, and that's an awesome quote. And you and I talked a little bit, and you had taken a break from Second Life since May, and to get back to your music, and you've got something totally big going on. Let's talk about that with the celebrity DJ. Let me just let
I
you.
have. Actually, I think I did mention it. I had the amazing opportunity to talk with a young musician that a lot of people who use Second Life and who go to live music concerts know. His name's Sean Ryan, and his avatar name is Sky Galaxy. And literally, just at the time that his single was being released with ATB, I managed to get a deal where I'll be working with another well-known DJ called Andy Moore, and it was kind of cool to just to be able to chat about how it is to work on a totally different level with with people who are celebrities, and so it's been an exciting year, and I did after a good 5.5 years of being in Second Life finally decide that this summer would be the summer that I took a break to go back to what I do, which is being a musician, making music.
Yeah.
And it's been the most fantastic few months. I've had an absolute ball. I've missed not using Second Life a lot, but I've had to focus very hard, music wise, and concentrating on that, and not being Slim Warrior for a little while.
Right. Right. Well, tell me about Just Breathe.
Yeah, that Just Breathe is a single that's just been it's out on Armada downloads, and out on iTunes. It's been released through Universal, and I'm a huge social media user, and I think those of us who use virtual worlds, we are the people that tend to use Facebook and Twitter and what's the other one, Plurk. Although I don't use that, I have tried it, but it's a bit beyond me. But we're very into using social media and any means of communication that we can. And I met this Italian producer through Twitter, unbelievably, while I was being a bit of an internet tart and trying to plug my stuff. Anyway, we eventually ended up writing a track together, which it's literally just been released just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so thrilled with it. And it's gone on to a best of trance album.
What?
And sorry, yes, you were going to ask me a question, do, because I'll just keep waffling otherwise.
And you've almost finished an album.
I have. My album is actually finished as we speak now. All the
Oh,
tracks are together. They
oh,
are finished. I'm just sorting out the artwork right now. So within a couple of weeks, the album will be available on iTunes. And yeah, I shall be chatting about that a lot on my Facebook page and Twitter, Twitter accounts. And coming back into Second Life and perhaps doing a little mini tour. And
I think
visiting some
that,
clubs and coming to party a little bit.
yes, I think that would be wonderful. I really do. And I'm just really excited about your performance at the end of our interview. I want to ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Uh, Basically, what it boils down to is what people see of us is what we allow them to see.
Yes.
And there's so much to you. There's so much. We're all complicated. But I know there just has to be some juicy nugget that none of us know. And I think that it would be appropriate for people to take home with them not only all of this good information that we've talked about today, but so they can just leave and say, "Did you know that Slim Warrior?" So fill in the blank.
Do you know, I'm terrible because I only know gossip about other people because I'm usually trying to fish for whatever gossip everybody else has
No,
got.
no, no, no. We're not
Um,
gossiping about other people. I want a piece of gossip about you that the audience here today can spread all over Second Life.
I haven't, I seriously haven't got anything juicy. And it's funny you say that because I find Second Life, it's a fickle thing, Second Life. The relationships that you have online with people within Second Life fluctuate. And and I found that I think when you take time off from using something and then come back into it, there's a build up you have to do again. You have to get back into being part of that community again. And I must admit, I actually don't have any juicy gossip because I've taken myself out of the community for a while, for obvious reasons. And so if there was any juicy gossip about Slim Warrior, please tell me. Because
Well,
I'd like to know what it is.
it really sounds like I'm just going to have to make up
Yes,
something.
yes, let's make something up.
I, I mean,
Yeah,
because most gossip is nothing but rumor, anyhow. So I could just make up something, I
we can
guess. But
start rumours. Well, everybody knows my gossip is that, yeah, so at the end of the day, if there's some cake and vodka, I'm a happy woman.
there you go. That's good. And also, grumpy old avatars. Are you a grumpy old avatar?
Oh, do you know, that has been one of the most favourite things that I've done in Second Life. Obviously, for those of you watching the programme here right now, you know that this is being Amped Up is run by Metaverse TV, wonderful team of people. And we also run Grumpy Old Avatars. And it started, gosh, 2 years ago perhaps, where Dusa Dragonash and Mal Burns and myself thought it would be a bit of a laugh to have one day a week where we could just, let our guard down and share. I know what you do. You're a terribly hardworking woman and you look after a lot of musicians. But let me tell you, there are days when you wish that actually they'd all go away and be quiet and just, everybody would just chill out and relax. And then you suddenly think about all the things that irritate you about being online. But being an events manager, being a manager, looking after musicians, looking after events means that you have to keep your cool, your calm, be terribly polite. And I thought I'd quite like one day when actually I could just be really grumpy. So Grumpy Old Avatars was started and it has actually been running for 2 years and we're due to start the next season soon and it is such fun. It's a Friday evening and we get to moan about whatever has annoyed us online or perhaps offline as well. And it's 1 hour. And I have to say that most of the time we laugh so much, we're not really grumpy. We've had wonderful guests on the show who've been absolutely marvellous, really. And I'm really looking forward to the next season of some more grumpies.
Well, maybe I can come on and be a little grumpy.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I mean, anybody is welcome to come along, really. Just, contact myself or Dusa Dragonash or Mal Burns, and we'd absolutely, well, we'd love to have you on the show, really. It's a fascinating insight into people as well. It's, things that would not irritate you would irritate somebody else.
Sure,
It's,
sure. Well, bringing this all to a culmination of getting to hear a performance, again, the quotation that this awesome lady is lives by, nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. And obviously, you can hear the enthusiasm in everything that we've talked about in the different aspects of her life. But Slim, I'm just going to give you these last few moments to just to say to the audience what you would like for them to take away with them from this broadcast?
Oh gosh, so many things I could tell you. Right, firstly, sit down, make yourself a cup of coffee, turn on your computers, which you've already done, and go and visit some of the places in Second Life that people have spent months and months creating. Go to lots and lots of music events, live musicians. Go to listen to some of the DJs. There are some great DJs out there. Go and listen to some of the singers. And most of all, go without any prejudice. Go with your ears and your eyes open. And Second Life is a wonderful, wonderful place. If you take those things with you wherever you go outside in real life, I think you get a long way as well. But then it sounds like I'm preaching, and I'm really not here to tell anybody how to live their second life at all. Enjoy it. I tell you, I have an absolute blast. I wouldn't change anything for the world. I absolutely wouldn't. It's been amazing.
Very well said. And with Second Life, one of the most amazing things is that I'm sitting here in Tennessee and there you are in Denmark,
I
right?
am now, yes.
Yes, you're in Denmark and there's people in the audience from all over the world. And here we are in one room and all on the same page. And I just find that amazing as well. Amped Up, a wonderful series which Slim will be hosting in the future, as she has in the past, bringing live interviews of various musicians in Second Life. Metaverse TV, no one can say enough about the contribution that they have made as far as Second Life is concerned and other aspects of the real world as well. Thank you, Slim, for sitting in the hot seat and letting me be on the other side of the table. And I just want to thank everyone for coming today and for the opportunity to be here. And I believe that what we get now is the icing on the cake, which is a performance by Slim Warrior.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Cher. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It has an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
you. You're very welcome.
The next one I'm going to play for you, it's not my album, it's a release through Universal. It's out on Armada and iTunes and soon to be Beatport, I do believe. It's a collaboration done with an Italian producer called Jolly Joker, and this next one is called Just Breathe. So tangent. iTunes, you can do it's under Best of Trance. Or you can go to my Facebook page and find all the information there. I want to say a very big thank you to Cher. It's been such fun being on the other seat today and chatting a little bit about what I've done and what I do. But I wouldn't do any of it if it wasn't for the amazing people that I meet and those that give me huge encouragement when there are days that things aren't always going to plan and you wonder why you're doing stuff. So I do want to thank you very much, Cher. It's lovely chatting to you, and a big thank you, of course, to Metaverse TV, who are just fab. The last song that I'm going to play is called Who Would Imagine, and it's a mix I've done with an amazing producer from Greece. His name's John Philps, and the song is called Who Would Imagine. Thank you all very much. See you soon.
I know